Hey there everybody, Gideon's Tactical here again. I've got 3 knives for you, just kind of like a budget review for you of budget pocket knives. My philosophy is, for the most part, I don't see any reason why you should have to spend upwards of $50 for sure on a pocket knife. Unless you're going for some particular reason, or you're using it every single day, or like in the military or a police officer, and you really do feel like you need a Benchmade, or some of those other brands that are just super high-end pocket knives. For the average Joe, I'd rather have 3 pocket knives that cost me, $30 than 1 pocket knife that cost me $90. So these are 3 pocket knives I just wanted to talk a little bit about today. You've seen some of these other reviews, but I just want to kind of get them all on the table for you. So I'm going to start with the highest quality and the most expensive and move our way down and just kind of talk to you about the 3 different things. These are, from right to left, the Kershaw Skyline, the KBAR Dozer, and the Maxlight folder. So those are the 3 that we have here. The first one I'm going to talk a little bit about is the Kershaw Skyline. Now, out of the 3, this is the most expensive and the highest quality. All 3 of these blades are 3 inches. So all 3 of these, the one I'm holding, the Kershaw, and these 2 guys, these are all 3-inch blades. And this Kershaw has the I'm probably messing up, but the SKA 17.5 or whatever. It's all made in America. This is all U.S. made, and out of all 3 knives, this is the one that is the highest quality and the one that's everything is made in the U.S. So and it has a stronger blade. So all have hollow grind, including this one. This one has a G10 handle right here, as you can see. It has, and that's a really nice texture. It's got some really nice texturing there to it. Lanyard hole. You can take the little bits out. The little screws out if you wanted to clean it. It has thumb studs, but they're basically useless. How you open this thing is with the flipper. You got your thumb flipper right here, and it just flicks right out, real nice and quick. Razor sharp out of the box, which is really nice. And it's got this little thumb hole right here. It's only got 1 steel liner, if you can see that. This side is plastic, this side is steel. So it's really light and it's really slim. The pocket clip is pretty good. It's only for righties. There's no screws on the left side of the knife, so you'd have to carry it kind of backwards if you were left-handed and you wanted to use this. But if for most of us who are righties, it has tip-up, tip-down configuration, so you can carry it tip-up, tip-down, which I really like. And the clip itself holds its retention really well. It's really strong steel. It's not going to bend on you. The only downside is it rides really deep in the pocket right here. You can see there's a lot there. It rides really high, not deep. It rides really high. Some people like that, some people don't. But it definitely sticks out. You can definitely see it. It makes it a little bit easier to grab, in my opinion, but a lot of people don't like it when it rides so high if you carry it tip up. It fits pretty good in my hand. I wear large gloves. No jimping here on the spine, but for a little pocket knife like this, I don't think you really need it. It fits my hand well for a large size glove. The finger hole and the choil right here, that's all really nice, so you can get a really good grip on it. The only downside for me is that it's really thin, and some people will really like that, but for me, it just doesn't feel quite thick enough in my hand. I wish that if it had just a little bit more thickness, I think it'd be perfect for me. That's not to say that it's a bad quality knife. Other than that, this thing is amazing. I've had it for a long time, and I really enjoy using this Kershaw. With the thumb flicker, the finger flicker works really well. The steel is really high quality, made in the U.S., and that's really nice. Now, again, that's the most expensive one. Down the line a little bit, we have the KBAR Dozer. This one is made in Taiwan out of Osate steel. This is not G10. It's just a plastic coating here, but it has really good texture. As you can see, really nice beading, and they did a really good job because it's flat right here. This Skyline can tend to kind of tear up your pocket over time with the G10 and how tight the clip, holds to it. KBAR knew a little bit better, and they put right here. Now this clip holds really well, but there's no texturing underneath where the clip connects to the body of the knife, so it doesn't tear up your pants, which is a really nice little extra feature, particularly for those of you who are wearing maybe Dockers or dress pants, but you still want to carry a pocket knife. Just one screw right here. This is lockback design. The Skyline is the only one that is a liner lock. This one is a lockback, and the back part is right there in the center. I used to not really like lockbacks, but now I actually enjoy them a lot, and that's usually what I carry now are lockback knives. But this is totally ambidextrous, which is really nice. You can see right here, you can take a little screwdriver, screw that out, and flip the thumb stud left or right. And you can also do that with the clip, switch it left or right. So this is totally an ambidextrous if you're a lefty. This is the best one out of these three to get if you're a lefty. But if you're not, hey, that's fine. It's got some the thumb stud. I used to only get ones with finger flippers, but now it doesn't really matter, and I have plenty of thumb studs. Right now I'm carrying the KBAR on a pretty regular basis. But this KBAR flicks right out. I mean, you definitely have to give it a little bit more wrist action than the Kershaw, but it's cheaper. But it's got the Osate steel, which is still really good steel. It's got the black finish. You can get those with no finish, just bead blasted like the other one. And you can also get these with a thumb hole if you like the thumb hole a little bit idea better than a thumb stud. Some people like thumb holes better. And I've used both, and I like the thumb stud a little bit more, but the thumb hole works just fine too. What's really nice about this knife is it's really lightweight. It has no steel in the handle at all except for the lockback mechanism. This is all plastic in here. There's no steel liners, which really takes care of the weight a lot, which is nice because at first glance you're like, man, this feels like really cheap and lightweight, but as you hold it, I mean, this is the one I carry on a regular basis. This is my EDC knife. Now it's got the jimping on the back of the spine right there, which is really nice. You hold it in your hand. Fits my large hand better. It fits it better than the Kershaw does. And that little extra jimping, not a big deal. It does help a little bit, but overall, it doesn't really matter. So yeah, this is a really good one to have. I really enjoy this. I've given a couple of these as gifts. These are great gifts to have. KBAR is a really good brand to stand by. Their lockback mechanism, there's no wiggle in this thing at all. You just push down and close it. And it's just a little, it's the thickness that I wish this Kershaw was. What's nice about it is that it just feels better in the hand than this Kershaw. So not dinging the Kershaw, I like it a lot. But this has become my EDC on a regular basis right now. And it'll change. I was carrying this buck for a while. I was carrying the Kershaw. And I kind of rotate between these three depending on just how I'm feeling and my needs. So that is the KBAR Dozer. And that one is made in Taiwan with Osate steel, 3-inch blade with the pocket clip. I like that it's only tip up because that's the only way I carry stuff. But this is a very lightweight, very strong lockback design. Finally, we have the Buck. Sorry, that wasn't a good one. Here, I'll do it again. The Buck Maxlight from Buck. This is made in the U.S. as well, which is nice. I've looked online. It says it right there. You can kind of see USA. I'm trying to get it to focus in right there. USA with the 420 high carbon steel. This one is also a great knife. Now this is the cheapest out of the three, but it's one that I carried for quite a while, and it just worked out really well for me. I really liked it a lot, and I still use it on a regular basis. This is in my bug out bag pack at all times because it came razor sharp out of the box, and I'm not a great sharpener. When it comes to sharpening stuff, I'm not that good. But I was able to get once this dulled on me, I was able to get a wicked edge back on it with about 5 minutes worth of work to it. Which is really nice. It's kind of got the clip point here. It's not sharp, but it's just a little bit of a clip tip right there. 3-inch blade. Lockback design. Now the KBAR had the lockback here. This Buck has it right back here. You just push that in and folds right into place. Got a lanyard hold. And then on this, there's no swapping the clip. This is a righty only, and it's held with rivets. There are rivets all through here, here, and here. There are rivets. There's no screws to mess around with, tighten or loosen, which I think is a plus. You know, I feel like there's less likelihood that I'm going to have to jack with this and, you know, try and tighten things, you know, or whatever. So the handle's made out of kind of like a fiberglass material. It definitely has the thickest handle out of all three, but it's kind of got, you know, it's rounded, so it's not really blocky like some of them. So it fits really nice in the hand. I would say that out of all three, this one has the nicest handle. This is the hardest to flick open. I would say the Kershaw's the easiest, KBAR's middle of the road. This one's definitely, you got to definitely put some really good wrist action into it to flick it open with the thumb stud. But the lock back mechanism is really good. I mean, it's really tight. This is basically, if you really like the Buck, what's it called? The original Hunter, you know, the 110, or the Buck, the mini one, the Ranger, the 112. This is basically like the EDC pocket version of this with a clip. And this is a great knife. I carry it with me in my bug out bag at all times. It's just a great backup. The choil right here, it just fits so nice in my hand. You know, just perfect. No jibbing. But man, I mean, it just feels so good in the hand. I wish that, man, if the only downside to this thing is the pocket clip. If this had a better pocket clip, I would carry it with me at all times. And this is kind of why it's in my bug out bag. Now, as you can see, it actually is not on the handle. It's gravitating slightly above it, and this is a pretty weak clip. I mean, I can do that pretty easily. These other two guys, these are way stronger clips. This is a really weak clip with a really wide open little lip here that gets caught on things. I caught this on a couple things. You know, if you're putting on a jacket or something that's in your pocket, this will grab, and it actually bent away a little bit. I've been trying to like bend it back because, again, I mean, if this were to bend out, and again, this is pretty flimsy. I know with my hand, if I put some pressure here, I can totally just bend this thing. So that's the only downside to this. And I really wish if this had a stronger pocket clip, I would carry this every single day. This would be my EDC blade. But that pocket clip just it wants to slide out a lot, and it just doesn't work as well as these two. It still works, still gets the job done. And I said this is the cheapest one out of all three. You know me, I don't like to throw out prices, so I'm not going to do that. You can find them online, or you know, look on Craigslist and people selling them, or the store or whatever. But this is the cheapest out of all three. Yeah, that's just kind of what I got to say about this one. Great handle, great blade, razor sharp, very easy to sharpen, lock back design, but the clip really holds it back for an EDC blade. Definitely more of a, in my opinion, a bug out bag, you know, type of knife after having used it for a while. So out of the three, just my personal preference, and again, I carry all three of these at different times as my EDC blades, but right now I'm using the dozer, KBAR dozer, and I'd say that's probably the best one out of all three here on the table for me at this time. Just kind of meets all my needs, fits everything perfectly, and just does what I want it to do. But these are all three great budget pocket knives by Kershaw, KBAR, and Buck. So hopefully this helps you a little bit with if you're deciding on a knife. You know that all of these are under, you know, like $45. Any one of these you can find online or at the store for less than $45. So you know, and oftentimes much less. So these are like my top three EDC blades that I would recommend to anyone as gifts, as you know, as your everyday pocket knife. Hopefully this just helps you out a little bit, and hopefully this is preparing you for the things that will come. So this is Getting Is Tactical, and I hope this helped you out a little bit. Thanks.